Hello and welcome everyone to this year's 2025 Transcend Trauma online event. I'm your host, Tanya Penny. I'm an occupational therapist, an illness and trauma guide, a spiritual alchemist, and author of the Connect with the Divine You book and journals. And I am here because I am devoted to supporting you to heal your past trauma, depression, PTSD, so that you can have a life full of peace, joy, and infused with self-love, and also to fully live your soul's purpose. So first of all, I just want to thank you so much for being here. There are tons of online events right now and really tons of healing trauma events. It's really kind of exploded the past 2 years. And that's a good thing that we're seeing how important healing past trauma is. So again, I'm really honored that you chose to be a part of this event. And my mission is really to bring you new wisdom and modalities that will support you to fully heal. And, from my own experience, there are lots of pieces to the healing puzzle. And we need lots of different tools and team members as we continue to heal those deeper layers. So you might be wondering, those of you that are new to me, why am I hosting this event? Who am I and why am I doing this? And I'll give you the short version, and then I'll give you a little bit of a longer version in the Trauma Truths video, which I recommend that you watch after this. So the short version is I really started to heal my trauma at the age of 15. And it was the trauma that I knew about at the time. It was my parents' really explosive, toxic marriage that, of course, affected me, as well as their criticism of me. My dad was an alcoholic, and my mother, undiagnosed mental illness. So at the age of 15, I believe it was, I started going to counseling at school. I had also been date raped. And so shortly after that, all of these things were unfolding. And, I started to go to counseling in high school. Then fast forward on my journey, at the age of 29, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. And that one really rocked my boat. This was in 2004. I was 29 years old. So 20 years ago, actually 20 years ago in September. So that put me on a deeper kind of I had done a little bit of mind body healing philosophy stuff and was kind of getting into alternative yoga and things like that before the MS. And when the MS hit, I did do Western medicine at first, but then I started to realize and make that connection between illness and trauma, and really went deeply into healing that for the next, until 2010. 2010, I had no more MS, no more symptoms, clean MRI. And at that point, 2010, I was like, okay, I did all of these pieces and I'm going to put them together and I'm going to start helping others to heal as well. So I'm going to say it was kind of a lighter focus on healing trauma back then. And then what happened after that was fast forward to 2018. And mind you, this whole time I'm using lots of different things to heal. So 2018, I go to a workshop that is actually a couple days to heal deeper layers of trauma that I didn't remember my childhood before the age of 10. So I knew there was something that happened, but I didn't know what. I had no memory. Besides, like I said, the other trauma that I knew about before, which was, again, the date rape, my parents' divorce. I think I forgot to mention I was sexually abused by my cousins, some of my older cousins. So 2018, I get blown away. I knew I went to this thing. As part of it, I ended up staying and doing not a plant medicine, but a frog medicine called Combo. And what happened is memory of my dad sexually abusing me and my mom knowing about it. I was shocked. I was shocked. I had no memory. So by this time, 2018, what am I? I'm in my 40s. So for 40 some years, I had repressed that. So again, I went through lots of different modalities, using my tools, using new tools. And then 2022, I moved to Hawaii. So I felt like I had really healed a lot of my dad's sexual abuse. 2022, me and my sweetie moved to Hawaii. And I was not prepared for what happened next. We got here, and after about 2 weeks, it started to set in that I was living here and I was not vacationing here. I had visited Hawaii at least once a year since 2004, have held retreats here. And I've never had that feeling of, oh my God, I'm on an island and like freaking out. Well, after about 2 weeks, I started freaking out. Panic attacks, night terror. Yeah, awful, awful. And so I knew again, there was something deeper that needed to be healed. And so what I decided to do was ketamine assisted therapy. Because again, I knew there was unresolved trauma. I didn't have access to combo, didn't want to do that again, but I had heard about ketamine assisted therapy. And lo and behold, what ended up coming up was some really severe physical abuse, this time by my mother, since I was an infant. So it allows memories in a very bizarre, unique, cool way to come up and to feel and release those. And then again, every single one of those layers I've gone through has also supported me to create new tools and new processes and a deeper understanding of trauma that I now bring to assisting my clients. So again, many of my clients come in through the illness door, but more and more are coming in through the trauma door, even if they don't have illness. So many people do. So that's a little bit about me and why I am here hosting this. And so again, I just want to commend you guys. Like, this is not easy. Doing this deeper work is not easy. It can be frustrating. We can feel hopeless at times. It can feel obviously really challenging. And it takes a lot of courage and patience and compassion and continuously being willing to not settle for less. You know, when people say, well, you know, why do I want to keep doing this? Why do I want to make sure that I heal unresolved trauma 100% if possible? And, you know, the simple answer is it affects every area of our life. I've already mentioned our health. Tons of people have trouble with insomnia because of unresolved trauma, myself included. And I want to, what I say, co-create heaven on earth. I want to co-create my heaven on earth, and I want to help you do yours, to create yours. So whether it's the career you do, fully living your purpose, relationships, fully supportive relationships, having that abundance of money and time, and having that life balance of work, rest, healing, and play. Like, I want you to have it all. I want me to have it all. And I can tell you from doing this work deeply since 2004, 20 years, that my life looks completely different today than it did when I was 29, in a really amazing, good way. And of course, I did work before that as well, and things just kept getting better. But I'm at a place now where I'm fine tuning. You know, even though the MS was gone, I've been having GI symptoms, especially since we got to Hawaii, and realized that they were one of my primary symptoms. And so we have to remember that healing can take time. It can take a long time sometimes, right? We don't know. Depending on, you know, is it trauma just from this lifetime? Is it also connected to past lives, which it is for many of us? Plus, we have the trauma that's inherited, passed down in our DNA. So when you think, oh my God, why is it taking so long to heal this? It's likely connected to all of those pieces, right? Like my GI issue has been. and my sleep issue as well. So again, I just want to gently remind you, it's really easy to sign up for things like this and be like, yes. And then we get caught up on the hamster wheel, um, the superhuman, I call it, right? The busyness. And so I just want to really gently remind you to schedule 45 minutes a day in your calendar. We do have two videos, two speakers a day. So if you can carve out an hour and a half or 45 minutes earlier, 45 later, but at least 45, and pick the one that you really feel drawn to the most. And then we will have a few extra days of replays as well. So carving out time for that. And then a reminder that everybody is offering, pretty much every speaker is offering an amazing free gift. And really, like, sign up for those you feel called to and carve out time again to actually listen to and use them, because they don't do any good if they're just sitting in your inbox. And my hope is for you by the end of this event to find that next piece to your healing puzzle and to go deeper with that person. Right? We've got so many amazing healers, coaches, guides during this event that I know that you're here looking for something else. And so I hope that you find that here. I believe that you will. Also, a reminder that you're a leader, whether you think you are or not. By having the courage to do this work, you're a leader. And so I highly recommend you share this with other people. And the truth is, we all have trauma, whether we are willing to admit it, whether we remember it. I think a lot of people, we've had the stigmatism like trauma equals like war, or it equals, but trauma can equal being teased, right? It doesn't have to be as extreme as mine, right? So no, and we're not comparing traumas here either. But yeah, everyone has trauma. Everybody has trauma to heal. So please feel free to share this event with others. And let's see what else. I just want to remind everyone that, when we share things, to let go of expectations of what others do with it. Everyone on the planet right now has the potential to fully heal their unresolved trauma, again, from inherited, this life, and past life. And if they are willing and ready, if we are willing and ready to do the work. So we can't make people do the work, but we can share things with them that we feel might benefit them, and then they can do what they want with it. They can do what they want with it. So I also want to feel guided to bring up, this is a really important time on the planet, specifically September through the end of November this year. There's lots of astrology stuff going on, but in a nutshell, from September to the end of November, Pluto went back into retrograde into Capricorn after coming out in January this year, back in September through the end of November. Now, what does this mean? It means that something that started in like 2007, 2008 for you, you're ready to see it in a deeper way, in a new way, and there's going to be some kind of a completion or an ending so that you can move on into the age of Aquarius at the end of November into that new chapter of your life, whatever that's going to be for you. It could be work, it could be healing, it could be relationships, it could be money. So it's really a time right now, again, to do that deeper clearing out. So you want to think about what was going on in 2007, 2008, that started around that time. And that's going to be linked to some kind of past trauma, unresolved trauma, some kind of limiting belief or fear, emotional gunk. And so we're really being called to do this deeper healing right now, especially right now during this time. It might be helpful if you also look at your birth chart, and you can Google, there's tons of free birth charts, and see what number house you have in Capricorn. And then you can Google house meanings. Perhaps I'll share my astrology cheat sheet with you. But that also might steer you, point you in the direction of what that area is that you're meant to really focus on. So endings, completing something so that you can move into that increased, upgraded vibration. And this is a big deal because the last time this major shift happened was 248 years ago. And that is when I believe it was was it the revolution happening at that time? There was some major shift in the US. I'm not a big history person, but yeah, it was big. So that's the kind of shift, monumental, pivotal changes at the end of November. But we got to do this deeper work now in order to make that upgrade, that up level, that ascension into the 5D. And lastly, it's calling us to really look at, are we living our lives from a place of our soul, our higher self, or are we still living from that place of those unresolved traumas and wounds, which again, we all are to some degree, and this is the time to do that deeper healing. So I recommend next that you carve out time to watch the Trauma Truth video that I've recorded from you, and use the guided therapeutic meditation practice as well. It's one of my most powerful healing tools that helps you to connect with and accept all parts of yourself. It helps you to listen to the messages your body is bringing you. And we know our body, our soul speaks to us through our body, brings us guidance through our body. And it helps you to feel and release emotions in a healthy way, feel, understand, and release. It helps you to shift those limiting beliefs and fears that are connected to those traumas that we experienced. And I'm going to say one of the biggest beliefs, limiting beliefs, fears, is I'm not good enough, right? Because this happened to me. Another one is the I can't trust people. Again, because so many of us were traumatized by family. So, and then it helps you to connect more deeply with your soul and something bigger, your unseen team, whatever you call that at this time. So definitely, I always use one of my guided meditations at bedtime as I fall asleep. So it can help you to sleep. It can help release body symptoms. Yeah, it's an amazing tool. So make sure that you use it. Again, you can fall asleep to it. You're to listen in a comfortable position. And if you fall asleep, sometimes it works even better. So low level. All right. And let's see what else. Oh, also mark your calendar for a live workshop that is going to be on October 12th at 10 a.m. Pacific. It's going to be 2 to 3 hours. I haven't decided yet. And the topic is still unfolding. I've got a couple good ideas, but I'm super excited to share some new information with you because of my own deeper healing since being in Hawaii since 2022. So again, I honor you, and you are such a courageous soul. Keep going. Don't settle for less. And on those days when it feels tough, go use the guided meditation right now. It's, oh my God, it does so much. It can really help shift out of that PTSD, anxiety, depression, brain fog, fatigue, all of those symptoms that come with anxiety, right? So yes, we're here to do the deeper healing work, and I'm sending you tons of courage and curiosity and compassion to do this. And then again, just a gentle reminder, we're here to help others to do it as well. Many of you are already healers, coaches, guides, helping people to heal. And so doing this deeper work for yourself is going to help you to help your people, whoever your people are, whoever your soul signed up, however your soul signed up for you to support others to do this work as well. All right. Love you. Hope to see you soon. Namaste.